Welcome. This short training is about one thing: staying inside the scope of service our license allows. By the end of this video, you will be able to explain what a home services worker can and cannot do, recognize the skilled tasks that are off limits for us, and follow the right steps when a client needs care that is outside our lane. Let us get started. Here is what we will cover. You will learn why our agency is licensed for non-medical services only. You will see the personal care tasks that are squarely inside our scope. You will learn to recognize the skilled medical tasks that we may not perform. You will understand the medication reminder rule under Section 245.40 C4P. And you will know the correct sequence to stop, call, and document whenever care falls outside our lane. Recently, a surveyor from the Illinois Department of Public Health visited our agency for a compliance audit. They found that, on a few occasions, our caregivers stepped in and performed skilled medical tasks for clients who needed them. Here is the good news. This is not about how much you care. You care deeply, and you step up when a client is in need. This is only about which tasks belong to us under our license and which ones must be handed off to a licensed medical professional. In the next few minutes, we will make that line crystal clear. Illinois has 3 kinds of in-home licenses. Home health is medical care, supervised by a registered nurse. Home nursing is skilled nursing. And home services is non-medical care. We are licensed as home services. That single fact shapes everything we are allowed to do. Under Section 245.40.C.4, we can assist with bathing, dressing, grooming, toileting, transfers, ambulation, positioning, meal preparation, light housekeeping, companionship, medication reminders, and escorting clients to appointments. That is a lot of meaningful hands-on help, and all of it is squarely inside our scope. Here is the rule that trips people up the most, so let us be very clear. Under Section 245.40 C4P, we may remind a client to take their own medication. We may remind them to check their weight, blood pressure, oxygen level, heart rate, or temperature. And we may help them open a labeled container or apply a device. But we may not crush, mix, or hand feed medication. We may not take a reading and then decide whether to give or hold a dose. And we may not interpret the result or act on it. Reminding is in our lane. Administering and deciding are not. Here is what the surveyor actually flagged. A caregiver crushed medication into food and fed by spoon. A caregiver checked a client's blood pressure and then decided whether to give or hold a dose of Midodrine. A caregiver performed passive range of motion exercises, and a caregiver applied prescription creams, ointments, and powders. Each of these is a skilled medical task. No matter how kind the intention, we may not do them. When a task like this comes up, we call the supervisor, and the family member or responsible party arranges for it to be handled. Why does this matter so much? Section 245.210A says it plainly. Home services agencies provide non-medical services only. When we step over that line, even to help, the surveyor reads it as the agency practicing outside its license, and the agency is cited. Staying in our lane protects our clients, it protects you, and it protects the agency. So, how do you know in the moment whether a task is ours? Ask yourself 3 quick questions. Question 1. Does it put medication into the client? Crushing, mixing, hand feeding, or injecting are all off limits. Question 2. Does it involve a clinical decision, such as reading a number and then giving or holding care?
That is off limits too. Question 3. Is it a skilled or prescribed treatment, like range of motion exercises, wound care, or applying prescription products? Also off limits. If you answer yes to any one of these, it is not our task. Stop and call.
Let us watch a few handoffs. Example 1. Medication at mealtime. The client has trouble swallowing, so it is tempting to crush the pills into applesauce and feed them by spoon. But that is administering medication, and it is outside our scope. Instead, remind the client that it is time for their medication. If they cannot take it safely on their own, stop, call the supervisor, and document the concern in our electronic visit verification system. The swallowing problem is exactly the kind of change a nurse needs to know about.
Example 2. Blood pressure and midodrine. Checking a reading and then deciding whether to give or hold a dose is a clinical decision, and it is outside our scope. Instead, you may remind the client to check their own reading if that is their established routine. But we do not interpret the number, and we never decide the dose. If anything looks off, call the supervisor and document what you observed in our electronic visit verification system.
Exercises and skin products. Performing passive range of motion exercises and applying a prescription antifungal powder are both skilled treatments, and they are outside our scope. Instead, support normal movement during everyday care, such as helping with transfers and positioning. Leave prescribed exercises and prescription products to the nurse. If you notice a rash or a skin concern, report it in our electronic visit verification system so the right professional can respond.
When a task is not yours, 3 words keep you safe. Stop, call, and document. Stop. Do not perform the skilled task, even if the client asks you to. Call. Call the supervisor right away, and if it is an emergency, call 911 first. Document. Record what you saw and who you called in our electronic visit verification system, in plain, everyday language. Stop, call, document. That is the whole rule.
You see a need that is outside our scope? Call the supervisor right away. And if it is an emergency, call 911 first. 3. Follow the supervisor's instructions. 4. Document the report in our electronic visit verification system in plain language, what you saw, who you called, when, and what they told you to do. 5. And most important, never administer medication, make a clinical decision, or perform a skilled task on your own. That is what keeps everyone safe and keeps us inside our license. Let's bring it home with one rule that covers everything. When a task feels medical, stop and call before you act. You give wonderful, caring support every single day. By keeping skilled tasks in the hands of licensed professionals, you protect your clients, you protect yourself, and you keep us fully within our license. Thank you for watching.